Emily from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for March 2022. So on Wednesday, March 9th, we have Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of communication, moving out of Aquarian energy where we were thinking big, we were thinking futuristically, we were thinking progressively. We were receiving some very, very good ideas from our higher selves, from the higher realms. But now, moving into Pisces, we have to expand on those ideas in a little bit more of an imaginative, dreamy, creative kind of way. So Mercury, of course, ruler of the lower intellect, where it is that we use logic and practicality to bring information in from our environment and sort through it and build an impression of what it is that we think. This is when we learn how to express ourselves, when we learn how to communicate all of the inner workings of our minds. Mercury, being in Pisces energy, of course, has a lot of pros, but comes with a lot of cons. Mercury is in his fall in Pisces, meaning that being in a water sign, we're not thinking as logically and practically as we would like. We're not speaking as clearly and confidently as we would like. We tend to kind of float away into la la land. And although that can pose a lot of problems for communication styles, we are put in a very good position to download ourselves with a new vision, with a new dream, expanding on these little tidbits of information that we would have received while Mercury was in Aquarian energy. Now we kind of get to paint the picture. We move into the ethereal realm. We kind of get to float away and start imagining and dreaming of a situation that we are intending to bring into our physical realms. Mercury being in Pisces means that we are more intuitive than we are logical. We are more adapt to our emotions than we are to our logical, practical, mental plane. We are definitely more imaginative than we are dealing with the details, the matter of facts of our physical realm. Now, this isn't a bad thing. Many of us actually need this kind of energy in order to actually float away and off into space and attach to our higher selves and gain a perspective and a vision on what it is that our heart, our soul is actually asking us to pursue. But things get a little bit foggy. It's hard for us to think very clearly in this Piscean energy. Many of us already suffering with mental fog, with spaciness, with dizziness, with this element of feeling drugged because, of course, we are in Pisces season. All of this energy is meant to push us out of our physical realms, out of our physical bodies, and kind of float off into space to attach to the metaphysical realm, to attach to the higher realms of intellect, of intuition, of impressions that we get from our higher selves. The downside, of course, is that we're not thinking clearly, that we're not forming the correct kind of opinions about the details coming in from our world. We're very gullible, we're very impressionable, we're very naive at this particular point in time, and we're very unfocused. We miss the details. Of course, in Pisces energy, everything kind of blends together. Everything is very wish-washy. The possibilities are endless. But we have to think about what it is that is in the dark, what it is that we're lacking. And of course, we have to go to the Virgo energy that sits across from Pisces to see what it is that we are lacking while Mercury is in Pisces. So Virgo energy is very hyper-focused, very much about the minute details, very over-analytical, over-judgmental, very fixated on the boundaries that we need to operate in. And of course, being in Pisces energy, all that gets thrown out the window. We have a tendency to want to go with the flow. And we lack boundaries. We lack the analytical skills that we need. We lack the focus. We lack the details. Everything kind of blends together. We just want to go with the flow. We want to be dreamy and imaginative. We get caught up in the romance of it all. And of course, that can lead to some very sticky situations. We are definitely not communicating correctly. We're not expressing ourselves correctly. We're having a hard time actually getting the words in which we're feeling in our inner realm to leave our mouth properly. This is a time where many of us kind of retreat, where many of us are very introverted, kind of living in our own little realm, in our own little world. And this is a very confusing time for us as individuals because we really don't know what is real within us. That's that whole Piscean energy. We don't know what is real, what is reality, what is truth. And because we're kind of confused and overwhelmed with all kinds of different thoughts and all kinds of different emotions, the lines are very blurred within us. So how can we expect to communicate and express ourselves confidently and with clarity, and actually have the people that we want to hear us, not only hear us, but understand us and validate us? If we ourselves are very uncertain on the thoughts and emotions within us and what they actually mean to us and what that actually means for our physical realm and our reality, how can we expect other people to understand where it is that we're coming from? So yes, Mercury in Pisces is great for creative projects. If you are a writer, an artist, a musician, this is your time to pull from your higher self, from your inner soul, the beauty and the magic that brings these particular art forms to life. This is a powerful time for creativity, a powerful time for visualization, a powerful time for your intuition and your spiritual practice. Not such a great time for understanding things, for learning new material, absorbing new information, sorting through the details of our lives. Not a great time for overanalyzing what it is that's going on within us, let alone the information coming in from the outer realm. And this can be very frustrating for many of us that are used to depending on our logic and practicality to make decisions, to make understandings within ourselves. So we do have like 2.5, 3 weeks almost of Mercury being in Pisces energy. Now, here's what I will say is that while Mercury is in Pisces, and again, Mercury actually slips into Pisces the day before we have our first quarter moon in Gemini. And of course, Mercury rules over Gemini. So the information coming in, the two choices that we're debating, the two options and paths that we are contemplating are going to get very, very wish-washy, very vague on what it is that we're meant to do. This is a time to lean all the way into your intuition, to your heart, to your soul, to allow that part of yourself to lead us into this next chapter, because logic and practicality has been thrown out the window. We are going to have a full moon in Virgo on the 18th under Pisces season, under Mercury in Pisces as well, and Mercury rules over Virgo. So again, we're going to really want to rely on our intuition. This is going to completely create a tension and a conflict within us because that Virgo energy is going to want us to rely on the logical, practical mindset, the logical, practical information that we have, and we cannot do that at this time. We enter into Aries season while Mercury is in Pisces. And this is really going to be a little bit confusing for the very first part of Aries season because we're coming to life. We have a lot of energy. We have a focus. We have a passion. We have a desire. And we're not thinking clearly. So we may actually act out in Aries fashion without thinking about the consequences. And we might get ourselves in a little bit of a sticky situation. But fear not, go with the flow, ride the wave. Let the inspiration, the ideas, the intuition come in. Make a little bit of a deal with yourself to not pressure yourself into making decisions, making commitments. You know, it is a time to kind of sit back and just see what flows to us. The universe is trying to flow the right path, the right people, the right opportunities to us. Don't think too much into it and don't get too hard on yourself because your brain does not work at its maximum capacity. We do have Mercury moving into Aries on the 27th, so this is going to be a very short time period for us to have to go with the flow, have to rely on our intuition, and have to deal with the fact that we are not going to be thinking and communicating clearly. So take from this the pros and cons. This particular energy is not meant to put us in a funk. It is not meant to harm us in any way. We have to recognize the energies that are being offered to us, the pros and cons of both, and staying super aware in the moment as information comes in, as thoughts come in, as ideas come in, and give yourself the space to recognize, hey, I know I want to make a decision right now. I know I want to choose a path, but it's not the right time to do so. And also, really do what you can to work with these energies. Jump into journaling, jump into a spiritual practice, jump into, little tasks and chores that can help strengthen your intuition. We are given an opportunity each and every single day to work with the energies that are currently supporting us in strengthening certain qualities and abilities within us, and recognizing where the deficit is, where the cons are, and not being so freaking hard on ourselves when we, in our logical brains, are not working at our optimal capacity to give ourselves a break. This is a time to float away, to give yourself permission to live in la la land and see where new inspirations, new passions, new desires get downloaded to you in order for you to prepare to pursue them.